There's a new scam that's robbing people of their hard-earned monies and even causing death. The digital arrest scam, where scammers impersonate law enforcement personnel. They arrest individuals on the basis of a fabricated fraud case, and then they force victims to stay on video calls and only release them after they've made payments. This is the newest deepfake tool used by cyber criminals. Now, in recent weeks, there have been multiple cases of such digital arrest frauds that have surfaced in India. The Gujarat police, for instance, have arrested 17 people, including, believe it or not, 4 Taiwanese nationals, for allegedly orchestrating a nationwide digital arrest scam that targeted elderly citizens across India. And the authorities have issued multiple public warnings, but this scam continues. This wave of digital arrests continue. So what is this digital arrest, and what should one do after you've been scammed? Joining me to discuss this are advocate Khushbu Jain, and Amit Dubey joins us from London. He's an ethical hacker and a TEDx speaker. And in the studio I have with me my colleague Ashok Bagadia. Ashok, what a bizarre series of scams, digital arrests, and it almost sounds like this is some legitimate kind of thing which is being used by criminals, whereas we found out there is no such thing. It's just a fabrication fabricated by criminals to dupe unsuspecting people.
Yeah, so first let me tell you the magnitude of the problem. Let me say that at least in the last 3 months, and only in the National Capital Region, which includes Delhi, Noida, Faridabad, Gurgaon, there have been at least 400 cases of digital arrests which, mark my words, have been reported. Now, 400 cases reported only from one small part of the country. Now, if you look at the entire country, the cases would be almost like 400 times more.
Right.
And we are talking only about the reported cases. There are only a particular number of cases that are reported to the police, but a majority of them remain unreported. Now, what really happens in a digital arrest is basically some person, you get an unsuspecting phone call on your phone number, somebody impersonates and says that he's calling from the Central Bureau of Investigation or the Enforcement Directorate or any tax authority, maybe Income Tax Department or the General Goods and Service Taxes Department.
Right.
And their modus operandi is very simple, that they will say that your bank account or the name of your company has been misused by somebody, and you are accused in the case of being a part of a conspiracy of defrauding the tax authorities or duping the tax department, or there is an ongoing criminal investigation by the CBI or the ED, which really scares the people. And these people who are impersonating as police, they scare the people by saying that if you do not cooperate with us and tell us the details that we see, you will be arrested and sent behind bars.
Right.
Now, that is enough for a common citizen to be really scared and cooperate. Now, once the cooperation happens, they are basically seeking your Aadhaar card details, PAN card details, your phone number, and so on and so forth, bank account details, which bank you have the account with. And once they have those details, they will scam money out of you.
They scam money out of you. And Ashok, I was just looking at the statistics that we have here. In 2021, there were 4.5 lakh cases of so-called digital arrests, and in 2024, 11 lakh cases.
Now, these are only reported cases.
As you say. A lot of times, people wouldn't possibly report it because
majority of the times they don't report these
cases. Shame or fear or what have you. But Amit Dubey, we've interviewed you for the documentary that we did on digital arrests. Very good insights from you on this new cybercrime phenomenon. Tell us what people really need to do to be aware of such criminals. Everybody here, I think, has got one or if not more calls from these cyber criminals. But what do you really need to do? What are the rules of the road when you get a call like this?
I think we all have some perceptions about our police department and law enforcement agencies, and that perception is not correct. And that's why most of us trust such kind of calls and get
Yes.
into these kind of traps.
Right.
So this is the very first thing that I think you can help us there to spread that awareness that police does not work like this.
Right.
Police never takes a statement from someone, or you can't have an arrest warrant from Supreme Court. The kind of thing those are actually mentioned during
Yes.
these calls. So basics of our law enforcement agencies, basics of our police department working. Most of these victims have never actually visited any police station.
Yes.
They have never been sort of interrogated or being indulged in such kind of investigation. So that's why
Right.
they quickly trust these calls. And these calls start with the IVR system,
Yeah.
automatic call systems. And according to that recorded call, they say that if you have some consignments being sort of returned and
Yeah.
or some courier agency call or something, and to connect to our customer executive, you need to press 9. The point is, if it is coming from a system, the default understanding of that system is to trust that system, because we don't doubt any IVR calls normally, and that is the
Right.
reason
Right.
get indulged into it, and then they will connect you with multiple people.
Right.
There's not a single person who is actually duping you here. There'll be 5-6 people, one from CBI, ED,
Yes.
then NC.
Allegedly the
Narcotics Control.
CBI and allegedly the ED and the
Actually,
NCB.
and so you get
Yes.
that there are so many people and they are repeating the same thing. And they may not be all wrong, so
Right.
you eventually trust them. And then they ask you, come on, video call, Skype
Yes.
call, and can't switch off your camera.
Right.
You have to take permission if you are going to washroom. And these people, they are on digital arrest situations for 7 days, 6 days, 5 days, and that is
Right.
really scary. One such lawyer had actually removed her clothes because these Farji police officers, they asked her to do that for the investigation, and she did it. So these kind of callers are not Jamtada style criminals. They are well-educated people. They know
Absolutely.
law. They know
Yes.
how these police department work. I'm doubting that there might be some ex-officers also involved in this.
My God.
Because
yes.
they are
Scary indeed,
training.
Amit. Yes, and the fact that you've hit the nail on the head, Amit, when you say it's not Jamtara, it's a step up from Jamtara. And as we just were discussing the fact that there are international gangs that are involved, Ashok, the fact that Taiwanese nationals were arrested in Gujarat shows that, India is like a happy hunting ground for cyber criminals. And Khushbu Jain, 1 billion Indians on the internet, and so many millions are gullible, not aware about how the police or the law enforcement agencies operate. As Amit was just telling us, is there a need for a massive awareness campaign that the government really needs to push out there? Because we are talking of literally tens of thousands of individuals being defrauded, lakhs in fact, and there's been a case of a lady getting a heart attack and dying. What really needs to be done apart from the awareness campaigns? Is there something that the government needs to do in addition to the kind of laws that we have in place? Khushbu?
I absolutely agree with you. We are one side talking about digital India. We are talking about making technology as a best use.
Yes.
So that we are trying to bring in with the new laws that let the statement be recorded online. If somebody is not
Yes.
able to come, if there is a woman who's a victim of a heinous crime, if she cannot travel to the police station, she can record her statements from home. She did not get objected to go to the police station to record the statement. So one side we are going towards that, and if this
Yes.
other side gets, this loophole stays open, we are actually at a stage where we are not growing, we are not going ahead. So yeah, much has to be done. One is awareness, which you started with.
Yes.
The awareness has to go. Government is already working on it. But it has to go really very deep to everybody to make them understand, because these criminals come up with new modus operandi every day.
Yes.
It can be with respect to closing of your bank account, to closing of your phone number. It can be it can be a scam that money laundering you're involved into, drug trafficking,
Yes.
or sending of some parcel which was illegal. They keep on changing their way of talking and doing things, and then they forge documents to make you believe and to
Yes.
bring in that fear factor. And the moment that fear factor strikes in, you stop thinking like a human. Your all brain stops working as a human.
Yes.
You stop questioning and you get succumbed to whatever they want you to do after that, including willfully transferring the money from your account to their account to
Yes.
check. Matlab, the stories that come up after that do not even make sense.
Right.
That, why would you transfer a money to somebody's account for that? Sometimes they tell you that we need to check that the money that is lying with you is the same money which is being utilized in the criminal aspect.
Yes.
It's not a physical out there, they want to check the number too. So they do not even make sense. But that
Yes.
is all done after that fear strikes in the person and he's so scared that his mind stops working. Now, what
Right.
government can do, government is already doing the awareness, which has to go maybe tenfold more. Apart from this, use of technology, because all of this has been done via technology. Um, right from what kind of calls come, WhatsApp messages. Let there
Yes.
be a way where somebody can check that okay, this is from the verified sources. Let's say
Right.
somebody is depicting themselves to be coming from some officer of ED or EOW or CBI. Let there be an awareness that there is no thing like a video conferencing where
Yes.
they can arrest that awareness. But apart from that, technology has to play a very important role,
Right.
because once the fear strikes in, you and me, even if we are aware, will have a layer next to it. So that's where I think we need to make sure that there's a use of technology, that if some kind of numbers like this keep coming,
Yes.
what kind of including WhatsApp, Skype, our own Try, everybody comes together to have reporting mechanisms. Another thing which can come up is KYC, a strong
Yes.
KYC of phone numbers, because everything starts from that. I understand virtual number also exists, but if there is a strong KYC, that's where we would understand this is suspected calls. These can be blocked, and the person on whom the SIM is registered, we reach them. Today,
Right.
what happens is the SIM is registered by my name. There would be 20 more SIMs that can be registered by my name, or
Right.
it can be a synthetic identity or something else. And in those scenarios is where even if you reach that phone number, that culprit, you don't reach the real culprit. You can reach to XYZ or Khushbu Jain, who has actually not committed the crime.
Yes,
So I think everything
absolutely.
will start with a very strong KYC. That's
Absolutely.
something which is paramount and very important.
Right, absolutely. Thank you very much, Khushbu, for outlining what the government really needs to do apart from the awareness campaigns that we do as media professionals, highlighting this scam, that there is a role for technology to play here as well. And of course, the KYC that you mentioned is something that they could look at. But that's the story that we've been tracking on News9 Plus very closely. In fact, we've just done a story called Digital Arrests, a new cybercrime wave. Are you next? You can catch it on the News9 Plus app. Thank you very much for joining us, Khushbu Jain, and my colleague Ashok Bagaria, and Amit Dubey, who joins us from London. Thank you very much for your insights, gentlemen.